everybody, welcome to our Ask Me Anything video series, and in this particular session I will be answering questions relating to growing an online business. Okay, just to give you a bit of background, the questions collected here are actually based on a survey, a community feedback survey that I've conducted recently with my email subscribers, and we've collected more than 140 questions, which have been categorized into 7 different categories, and you should already have access to 5 other Ask Me Anything sessions. Okay, whether you're watching it on YouTube, or you are actually listening into our private podcast feed, you should be able to have access to the other 5 topics already. Okay, so just to give you a brief introduction of myself, I'm Faith, and I'm the owner of faithsbizacademy.com, and I'm also a certified business strategist. My mission is to help aspiring online entrepreneurs build a thriving online business through selling easy to create digital products as well as effective, sleaze-free email marketing. So let's start with the first question. Somebody asked, what's the fastest way to make money so you can pay your business expenses? I'm not sure if there's actually the fastest way. Okay, so maybe let me just advise. Okay, my advice is that you want to keep your business expenses as low as possible. Okay, before you start making money, before you start bringing your first sales, you really want to find ways to streamline your processes and make sure that you're not overspending. Okay, go what I consider the cheapskate route and try to use any free or low cost platforms. Free is the best. And don't FOMO at this point in time. I know that sense of FOMO is real, especially if you see other people raving about certain platforms and resources, and then you realize that it's beyond your budget, or it really stretches you to purchase those platforms or tools or resources. Don't. Okay, just try to control yourself and keep in mind that you can always upgrade your platforms, resources, tools, different things along the way. Okay, so that's one thing. Like, that's also a reason why I went with MailerLite first instead of ConvertKit, because MailerLite has the free plan, and yet even with the free plan, it has all the advanced features. So I went with MailerLite, even though I was reading so much about ConvertKit. Like, so many people were recommending ConvertKit. And like, even the setup that I now have wasn't what I started with. When I'm recording videos, I had a clip-on mic, or even I just use the old earpods, my earphones from my Apple phone. So just really make do. Okay, I would say make do with whatever that you have. Make the best out of whatever you have. Don't go spending a lot on tools and resources, because like I said, you can always upgrade along the way. So the lower you can keep your business expenses, the faster you can, basically get in the black, right? Get out of the red and be profitable. So one of the fastest way, I would say, well, check out my YouTube videos on the different Canva tutorials that I have for you that teaches you how to create different sets of printables. Those are simple digital products that you can create to sell. One of the easiest ways is probably to set up a shop on Etsy, and that also requires very little capital. So I would say that would be the fastest, but even then, manage your expectations, okay? It's not like you're gonna start making tons of money overnight, okay? So I would say also manage your expectation, keep your expenses low as possible, and make use of free resources available to actually gain new skills, and then start finding ways to sell your products, like going for marketplaces like Etsy.com, or using like platforms like SendOwl, where I think the pricing is like $1 for the first 2 months, so you can get started with selling without too much of a capital invested. Okay, next question. There's a lot of info, but where do you start? Yes, that's true. The very first step I would always recommend is to go through a target audience analysis exercise. Basically, what you want to do is find out who your target audience is. What's their profile? What are the interests? Who are you actually trying to reach out to? What problems do they have? And then what solutions can you provide? So it's like a brainstorm session. You need to first understand who your audience is before you can start deciding what products to create and how you can create those products, okay? So I would say, to answer this really simply, is to first ask yourself, who are you trying to serve? Okay, who's the target audience that you're trying to reach out to? Okay. Next, how do you just get started? Just get started. Okay. You can get started by purchasing a domain name. You can get started by buying into a web host. And once again, go for whatever that is within your means. Don't overstretch yourself at the beginning. Keep your expenses as low as possible. Sometimes it also means you have to shut out the noises and really just do it. Buy the domain name, install a free theme on your WordPress. If you can afford it, hire somebody to get you over that tech learning curve, have somebody give you a head start to set up your WordPress website. It's all possible, right? Depending on how much budget and time you have. And then just publish it. Okay, just publish the website, just launch your shop, just set up that shop on Etsy, because to put it really bluntly, nobody sees it. Nobody sees your WordPress website, your brand new website, until you tell people about it. Nobody sees your brand new shop unless you tell people about it. So don't be afraid to just publish it, okay? And there is always room for improvement. There's always room for you to come back and update things, upgrade things, and modify things, okay? So once again, I think this question is also related to the previous one, where getting started is first understanding who your target audience is. You need to know who you're trying to serve, okay? Then can you decide, okay, where do these people hang out? Are they on Instagram? Should I be focusing on creating Instagram Reels? Are they looking for video content on YouTube? If I know who I'm serving, then only when I know who I'm serving can I then decide on what products to create. Next, I want to be a business owner and start making money as of right now. I have an Etsy print-on-demand shop, but I haven't made any sales yet, and I've had it since last September. Any suggestions on how I can make money with this, or another suggestion of a business that will make me money? I feel that a lot of times it's also about managing expectations. Just to give you some kind of some further information, I started blogging since early 2018. I made my first sale on the first day of January in 2019, 1 year after that. It was a set of mom planner. Okay, I call it a Momtastic planner, several hundred of pages, created using Excel. I sold it as a printable planner and I made $25 from it. It was super exciting, but it also meant that I was not profitable, right? 1 year in, and then I made my first sale. And I then made my first $1,000 later in 2020, before the business finally took off. So it's always about managing expectation. Don't believe anybody who tells you that you can make money really quickly. We all want to make money quickly, but it's about managing expectations, okay? And even if somebody made it like really easily, in all honesty, it does not mean it will be easy for us, right? Because our expertise and experiences are different. What we're good at is different. Our target audiences are different. So once again, I'd like to say that if you do believe in building an online business that will be profitable in the long run, okay, something that will feed you for months and years to come, then you have to set your foundation right. You have to first understand who are you serving, okay? It really boils down to understanding who you're serving. Then can you think about all the different products to create, where to sell them, where to look for those people to pitch to and stuff like that, okay? So there will be people who make lots of sales using print on demand. If you're talking about Etsy, of course, you need to do your keyword research. You need to make sure that you are optimizing your titles, your product description, making sure your product banners are attractive so that when people search for something, your product banners pop out and then they look at your shop, right? So there are so many other things. Don't just give up, or don't just think, oh, I've tried, but it's not working. There is also the question of are you trying the correct things, right? Are you doing things the correct way? Like, for example, if you're on Etsy, are you doing Etsy keyword research? Are you adding fresh products to your shop on a regular basis, right? So you could make money with print on demand. You could make money with digital printables, planners, journals, planner stickers, self-care planners, planners for pet owners, anything, really. There are so many products out there that we can create, but you have to, I'm nagging it right now, you have to first decide who you are going to serve. And from a loving place, don't be fickle about it. You have to try for at least 3 months intentionally and intensively, okay? Not just create one product, leave it there for 3 months, and then tell me that you have tried for 3 months. That's not considered, okay? What I'm talking about is actively researching, actively implementing, actively creating new products, and then making sure that you are putting in the right kind of effort to then tell me that, okay, or to then say that I've tried, but this is not working, okay? So once again, boils down to who are you serving? If you want to do a print on demand, yes, you can, or you want to change to a printables, but yes, you can. But once again, don't keep changing, because then there is not enough time for something to actually stick, for something to have time to grow. So reevaluate what you have, see how you can improve on what you have. And if you feel like you just have absolutely no more interest to continue with that, then once again, do that target audience analysis. Ask yourself who you're trying to serve, what problems do they have, what can you create to help you decide what products to create, okay? I want to leave the corporate world and begin a more creative journey. Would you recommend overlapping the two until you're comfortable enough making the jump? I'm scared if I do this, I might never make the commitment to move or to do my research, set up small and break ties with my current career. Not been happy for a long time. I'm sorry to hear that you have not been happy for a long time. In all honesty, okay, I would strongly suggest that you keep your current job. I know it is a terrible feeling to be doing something that you don't enjoy, but the benefit of having a day job while you're starting your side hustle online is that you can use part of the income that you get from your day job to invest in your business. So it kind of reduces the risk that you have. Running a business is risky. Okay, let's just face it. It is risky. It's just about how to mediate or regulate or manage the risk, right? By, once again, choosing platforms and resources that are not too expensive, that are within your budget. If you have a day job, you can invest. If you have a day job that gives you a regular income, you can use money to pay somebody to set up a WordPress website. You can buy templates to help you kickstart the product creation process. You can hire somebody to help you list your products on Etsy. So there are actually advantages of having a day job while setting up your side hustle online, because you can then have money to kind of invest in your business because of that, right? Whereas if you totally quit, you have to be really, really careful with your budget. It limits how much you can spend on your business. So it really depends. But from my perspective, my personal opinion, if you're not at risk of losing your job, even if it makes you unhappy, I would say do it so that you can use that money to invest in something that will make you happy. Okay, but then you kind of mediate the risk. You reduce the risk of running an online business while still keeping your day job, so that you have money to invest, so that you can actually speed up the process of building your online business by hiring help, for example. Okay. What advice would you give to someone just starting out? So if you're seeing that there are repeated questions, in a way, it's basically I just copied and pasted all the questions that I received from my subscribers, and I'm not really filtering them, which is why there are similar questions and repeated questions, which is why I might be giving repeated answers also. So advice, understand who your audience is. First, identify who you're trying to serve before you do everything else. Okay? Have a clear idea of who you're trying to serve, and really try not to get distracted by the shiny object syndrome. Be very practical how much time you have to spend on your business on a regular basis. Be very practical how much money you have to invest in the different tools and resources needed to build your online business. Don't compare yourself with somebody else. Okay, once again, manage your own expectations, right? Because if, let's say, somebody has 20 hours to spend starting an online business versus you only have 2 hours each week, the results are going to be very different. Okay, so don't compare yourself with somebody else. Manage your expectation based on your budget and on the time that you have, and have clear understanding of who your audience is so that it can help you decide what to create and how to create and what to sell. Is this suitable for people in the UK? Yeah, why not? Why not? I'm from Singapore. Okay, I'm like thousands and thousands of miles away from most of the people I work with. We're a really small country in Asia, and yet my business caters to, I would say 90% of my clients are in the US and in the UK, Canada. So yes, if you're running an online business, if you have a website, well, it's not called World Wide Web for nothing, right? The whole idea is you can build an online business and reach out to people all over the world. So yes, it's suitable. What do you think contributed most to your success as an online business owner? 2 words: adapt and pivot. Okay. I have learned so many things along the way since I started in 2018, and I believe that I've definitely made mistakes, and I struggled, right, for like a good 2.5 years before my business started becoming profitable. Well, first, you need to have the determination not to give up. You need to stay focused. You need to hold on to the belief that if you truly believe that running an online business is the solution to greater financial freedom, to greater financial stability, to increasing your finances so that you can save up, so that you can invest in other things, so that you can pay for bills, so that you can travel or whatsoever, right? If you believe that running an online business allows you to do that, then you have to work for it. It's not going to fall down on our laps. Unfortunately, okay, let's be real here. And you have to be prepared to do the work. You have to have a clear vision, a clear idea of what you want to do. You have to understand who you're serving. See, I'm nagging again. And you also have to be flexible enough to adapt and pivot, like all the time. You want to make plans, but you also need to have room for flexibility to adapt and pivot. What do I mean? Like how I moved from creating and selling personal use printables to commercial use templates the minute I understood what PLR means, and the minute I discovered that it's a niche that I wasn't familiar with previously. But now that I know that there is such a thing as PLR, private label rights, commercial use templates, I could change my business model. But it only worked because I was ready to do it. It only worked because I was already creating and selling personal use printables all on my own. And then even through the last 2 years where my business grew pretty quickly, I moved from creating and selling commercial use templates to courses, to coaching programs, right? To creating a YouTube channel to engage my audience, to drawing organic traffic. Is always about adapting and pivoting. Is always about finding new ways to engage my audience. It's always about finding ways to gain exposure, grow my business reach. You have to be fast, okay? If you have an idea, you need to work on it. If you believe in something, you have to work on it. If you see that, okay, this product sales is not doing as well as you would like or you expected, then do something about it. How can you pivot? How can you change? How can you adapt to turn it into a success? Okay, so if I were to really sum up, I would say it's 2 words. You want to be quick to adapt and quick to pivot. Next, what are the top 5 things I can do that will boost passive income in my business? For example, an evergreen email sequence. Which 5 things will help me to create once and continuously get these products in front of different audiences so I don't have to create something new every second day? I feel as though I'm on the hamster wheel of create, but I'm not seeing real returns for my work. I would like to have a more evergreen passive way of creating something once, but it stays in a circulation. Okay, so how to boost your passive income? I don't have like 5 specific things, but let me just try to break it down. Firstly, you need to get out of the creation cycle. You have to promote it. Because just based on your question, right, whatever that you have shared with me, I have no idea how often you are promoting your product. I have no idea where you're promoting your product. I have no idea how big your existing audience is, right? For example, if you have been creating multiple Instagram posts, but there is no engagement, you hardly have any followers, you're not doing anything to grow your followers on Instagram, then how can you expect people to see you and buy your products, right? So You're creating content on Instagram, but you're not doing it strategically. So don't just focus on creating, focus on selling. And yes, evergreen email sequences can help you grow your passive income, but that also comes with the assumption that you already have an engaged list, right? You already have an existing email list where people have been buying products from you, and therefore it already works, and therefore now you evergreenify it, okay, make it into evergreen content such that it builds your passive income. But there is no way that an evergreen sequence can serve you well if you don't yet already have an active, engaged subscriber list whom you email regularly, where you already have a good track record of selling products. If you don't yet have that, there is no way of having an evergreen sequence that is profitable. Okay, you have to first have a subscriber list where, I'm not even talking about size right now, okay, an existing list where people are used to hearing from you, are used to seeing your words, believing in the value that you bring them, have the habit of buying things from you before you can actually evergreenify it. Okay, because I would just say that, yeah, you can just put up a 30-day email sequence, write the content, everything using ChatGPT or whatsoever, create a 30-day email sequence, automate it, right? It's easy. It's not difficult to do that. But the results of it, will you get the results? It's debatable, because if you don't yet have an existing engaged list, with that automating that does not necessarily bring you the passive income that you desire. And then the question is, okay, so how do I have an engaged list, right? We have to kind of work backwards. So it's back to that same old question, do you understand who your audience is? Because if you understand who your audience is, you know what problems they're facing, then you know what products to create. And if there is a match between, demand and supply, then there's going to be profit, right? Because then people will buy the stuff from you. If you don't understand who they are and you're just creating your products based on your own interests and passion, but there is no connect between your audience, what they like, and what you create, then there is no sale. If there is no sale, there is no even need to put it into automation, because it's just not going to work. Okay, so I know this sounds harsh, but I really also don't want to give you false hope. Like, I really want you to gain that clarity and confidence, but it has to come with very practical steps, okay, and very practical expectations. So once again, understand who your audience is. The passivity, am I pronouncing it correctly? The passivity of things will come over time, which is why the business will grow in profitability over time. In fact, exponentially over time. But right now, if you haven't had that regular sales cycle going on, you need to be selling. You need to be attracting people to sell to before you can actually move things to automation to evergreenify it. Okay, so I apologize that I'm not giving you the 5 things, okay, but I'm just going to list it out, okay? Try to make it into steps. Understand who your audience is, actively grow your reach, okay, whether it's through keyword SEO, writing blog posts, having lead magnets, growing your email list, doing collaborations, contributing to events to grow your email list, okay, so that people can come to your email list, regularly writing newsletters, okay, so that you're engaging and nurturing the subscribers. Because if there is no personal relationship, if they don't trust you, why should they buy from you, okay? And then keeping a track record of active sales, right? That you have a track record of creating and selling, creating and selling, creating and selling, and then whatever that has worked and has sold before, then you think about how to automate and evergreen those email sequences. Okay? How do you decide when to pivot and based on what signs? There are, how do I say this? Okay, so it's really being, I think there are a couple of things, is being very sensitive to your audience. Once again, I know, I apologize if I sound naggy, but it has to be said over and over again if it means that is the only way to drill home that point, right? Understand who your audience is continuously, okay? Because because of market changes, because there are so many things happening in the world, right? Because of the other things that are happening in the world, like for example, unfortunately, there are wars going around the world, which has raised living expenses, and people are more strapped for cash, and therefore they are not investing as much in their business. For example, that's a trend. And therefore, instead of creating big courses to sell at $197 each, I then pivot to sell more pocket-friendly workshops at $9, at $27. So that's also pivoting. The fact that AI is taking over the world, so to speak, how can you then use AI to help your business? How can you provide services and products that help people use AI? So that's also pivoting. But it comes with that sensitivity and adaptability and seeing all these changes and trying to pivot as much as possible, as quickly as possible, or even better, foreseeing the changes and pivoting before the change actually takes place. Okay, but once again, it only comes with a good understanding of who your audience is. Because I know my audience, and because I know their problems, and because I am constantly engaging them through regular newsletters, through creating surveys, through engagement on my Facebook group, through my emails, I know what they like, I know what they want, and therefore I can then create stuff to meet their needs. So it has to be, you have to understand who you're serving so that you can pivot accurately. Right? It's not just about changing to the market. It's about changing to the market based on your audience's needs. Okay? I hope that answers the question. How to truly define your target audience when I have so many potential targets? That is a good question and is legitimate. So I mentioned just now, you want to identify your target audience, right? And I mentioned about understanding what their profile is, what their interests are, what problems they have, and what solutions you can provide. So this particular brainstorming exercise needs to be repeated for however many potential targets you have. If you have 3 different groups of audiences in mind, do that. Write that down. Okay, maybe you're trying to meet the needs of moms. Write that down. What kind of profile, what kind of problems they have. Be as specific as possible. Because moms in general, they can have kids from babies to, teenagers and even adult children, right? Which group of moms are you referring to? Are you trying to address? Are you trying to help? So be as specific as possible. Because the new mom or the young mom struggling with a toddler will have very different problems as compared to a mom with a teenager. So even just writing moms is not good enough. You have to try to really filter down and niche down, try to crystallize it as clear as possible who you're trying to help. And then list down the problems and then think about what you can do to help them with the problems. If you then have another target group of seniors, for example, right? Not just the age group, but their profile. What do they struggle with? Do they have chronic health issues? Are they savvy with the internet? So if they're not, how can you provide services online that can help them, right? So repeat that exercise for however many potential targets you have. Because even if you have so many ideas, when you really write it down and you put it down on pen and paper, Google spreadsheet, Trello board, whatsoever, write it down somewhere. Because when you write it down, it helps you really crystallize and process your thoughts and ideas. So more often than not, you will realize that you have more ideas for one particular group than the other, and that is the group that you want to focus on. You can ultimately serve all the different groups of audiences that you have in mind, but my advice is to focus on one group first, okay? Because in terms of SEO, in terms of being strategic with your business growth and content creation, you want to focus on creating content for a specific group of audience first, okay? So that you're creating content, multiple blog posts, for example, that can be interlinked, that can be related, that people can come onto your blog and read something and realize that there are more articles that they can relate to, as compared to trying to serve all 3 groups of audience at the same time. Creating content for all 3 different groups of audience at the same time is going to be messy, it's going to be overwhelming, it's not helpful for SEO. Okay, so once again, you can ultimately appeal to different groups of audiences, serve different groups of audiences, but move or create content in such a way that is more systematic by focusing on one specific audience first. Okay, so do that brainstorming exercise with whatever platform that you have, but really write down all your ideas. And like I said, more often than not, you will realize that there is one particular group that should stand out where you have a lot more ideas on, and then work on that. Next question. How do you know what products are the best for your audience? Survey notwithstanding, how do you test them? If you don't want to survey them, just create it and sell it. That is one way of testing, okay? Or before you dive into creating like a big product, right? Create a small page, not a small page per se, but a sample size of it, so to speak, right? If instead of creating a 4-module course, create a 30-minute workshop. It's like an introduction that makes sense. In that 30-minute workshop, it is a quick win for your audience, and it can also allow you to test the audience, right? Because it's not going to take much time for you to create that 30-minute training, and it also allows you to sell it at a lower price. It gives people that ability to afford it and kind of just test to see whether they enjoy your training. And if the take-up rate is good, then you know there is real demand, and then you can decide whether or not to create more trainings, more advanced and more comprehensive courses. For example, if it's a printable planner, instead of going straight into a 300-page planner, why don't you create a 10-page one for that particular niche or category or theme or topic, and then try to sell it. If you don't want to sell it, offer it as a freebie. If people are not even signing up for that freebie, what makes you think they're going to pay for a 300-page planner? Unlikely, right? So sometimes it's really about just creating something and testing it, offering it for free, offering it as a low-cost service or product, and then see how well the take-up rate is, okay? So since I'm talking about take-up rate, I guess we should also mention that a 4% sales conversion is considered pretty good. So what do I mean? If 100 people see that product and 4 people buy it, that's a 4% sales conversion, 4 divided by 100. Okay, so then that is a decent sales conversion, and yes, it also means that there is demand. Then the idea is that what you need is to get more people in to see the product, and then 4% of them will buy, and then that's how you make the money. Okay, so sometimes it's not even doing a full-fledged survey. All you need is like asking people for feedback, like on your social media accounts or on your emails, right? Ask them, would you like A or B? Would you like it in pink or black, right? Just ask a simple question and get them to engage, to answer you, even without creating a full survey. Next question, what is the fastest and easiest way to generate money online? I have a love-hate relationship with these kind of questions, because I feel like people are really trying to find, okay, well, it is, right? You are trying to find the fastest and easiest way, but I don't think there is a fastest and easiest way. I could potentially tell you that the fastest and easiest way for me to make money online is to create and sell Canva templates. But it may not necessarily be the fastest and easiest way for you, maybe because you don't like using Canva in the first place, right? I could also tell you that the fastest and easiest way to make money online is to create and sell courses, because I love to teach and I believe that I am pretty good at teaching. But that is not what is fast and easy for you. So unfortunately, there is no universal fastest and easiest way. You have to combine understanding your audience with what you are good at, right? What you're good at, what you're great at, your expertise and experience. How can you share it with your audience? How can you help them to achieve certain objectives, to address their concerns, to provide solutions to your problems? So it is a question that many of us think about. It is a question that we all hope we have the secret sauce, the perfect solution to it, but unfortunately there isn't. I would just be really honest and upfront with you that there is no way I can answer this question. And I would like to think that if anybody tells you that that is the fastest way and the easiest to make money online, it's a scam. Okay? Yeah, if somebody really tells you that doing this thing is the fastest and the easiest way to make money online, it probably is a scam. Okay, I would suggest that owning your own WordPress website would be one of the best ways to do it, because you have, like, you're creating an office, a platform that you own, right? That people can come to your website and get to know you better, consume your content, and then buy stuff that you create and sell. It would be the ideal situation. One of the easiest way to get started is to set up a shop on Etsy. But is that really the fastest and easiest way to generate money? It's debatable, right? You definitely, between setting an Etsy shop as compared to setting a WordPress website, Etsy would be easier because there's a lot less tech involved. But and then Etsy does the backend algorithm to drive organic traffic to Etsy shop owners. But if an Etsy shop owner does not actively create new products to their shop, it is not going to generate as much income or sales as they would like, right? And yeah, so there are so many factors. There is no good way to answer this question. And once again, if anybody tries to tell you that their way is the fastest and easiest way to make money online, take it with a pinch of salt, take a step back and reevaluate to make sure that, yeah, like I said, I really don't think there's a universal way. And don't fall into any scams who try to tell you that that is the best and easiest way to make money online, okay? If I want to make $10,000 in a month within 6 months, what is the best product to start with? PLR website. That may not work with AI now. Printables, courses, ebook, POD, what platform? Etsy, Shopify, should I use? What system? Flowdesk, Google Forms, email marketing, and cart. Okay, so if you sign up, well, chances are whoever asked me this question, you're already on my email list, which means, or you can just grab my free Sunflowers calendar or any recent products that courses that I create. There is a tech stack that I offer. Okay, it's not, I mean, it's a Google document where I document down the different platforms and resources and tools that I use for my business, web posts, email marketing, shopping carts, email service provider, shopping carts, it's all there. Okay, those are the things that I use and those are the things that I recommend. Now, whatever that you wanting to make $10,000 a month and the platforms, I would say they're not related. They are not related. I started making $10,000 while I was on MailerLite and not on ConvertKit. But the platform is not the key to me making $10,000. The key to me making $10,000, and I was using Teachable and not ThriveCart, which is what I'm using now, and I would recommend ThriveCart than Teachable. Yeah, so the money that you make is not dependent on the platform that you use. This could be controversial, I don't know. Yes, the platforms that you use could help you be more productive and efficient, but it does not decide how much you're gonna earn, right? Because how much you're gonna earn, once again, boils down to how well do you understand your audience? And are you providing quality content that makes them want to pay, right? That you're meeting the needs of your audience, that you're creating content and offering products and services that make them want to pay you. And then you have sufficient audience size and engagement to make them want to pay you the products and services that accumulates to $10,000 a month. $10,000 a month within 6 months was what I achieved. Let me just try to collect my thoughts. I made more than $1,000 in a month finally in September 2020. In September 2020, that was the first time I hit more than 1,000 in a month. Then my first 10,000 month came in January or February the following year, which would be less than 6 months. So yes, it's possible, but disclaimer, I was running an online business since 2018. Okay, so the time and effort that I put into learning was the 2.5 years before that. So I managed to make that $10,000 a month within that 6 months of making my first $1,000 a month, but it will be a scam to tell you that that is true on its own, right? You have to consider the fact that I've already accumulated experience and tried out different things in the 2.5 years before that. Okay, so it's possible, but it also depends on how strong a foundation you have for your business. And it's not about, I can't tell you what product will sell the best because I don't know who you're serving. I would tell you that courses are probably the most profitable product type in my business. But it could be different from other people, right? So there is no specific product that I can tell you. There's no best product to start with. The best product is the product that your audience would want. And I don't know what your audience want. You should know what your audience want. And then after that, it's about finding the right platform that meets your current needs, that meets your budget, and then using it to grow your email, to grow your subscriber list, to nurture the relationship with your subscribers, and then selling them the stuff that you create. Okay, yes. Next question. What is the most effective way to grow my business? Different ways, depending on niches, depending on what you're trying to achieve, right? Like I would say, when it comes to personal use printables, if you're creating and selling personal use printables on your WordPress, you are into writing articles, then Pinterest marketing is effective in growing your business traffic for the long run. You want to do keyword research to get Google SEO to work in your favor. And so Google SEO, Pinterest marketing can be helpful to grow your personal use printables website where you're actively writing new articles. Then for PLR, when you're selling commercial use templates, the truth is I haven't written a single article or used Pinterest marketing to grow my traffic to sell commercial use templates. I have been actively collaborating with other people, contributing to bundles and giveaways, and speaking at summits to grow my business. So there are different things to do, depends on what niche you're in and who you're trying to attract. So once again, it boils down to who is your target audience, where do they lurk? Where would they look for information, right? If you're in the craft niche, then Pinterest marketing is going to help because crafters like to look at the images and that short clips on Pinterest. They might even look for how-to videos on YouTube, right? So that is the way to grow your business reach. And then growing your business will be deepening the understanding of your audience and then creating products to serve their needs. So it really depends on what your niche is. Next, I would like to know the breakdown in percentage, not actual financial numbers, of your earnings in the past year. What percentage of sales come from your coaching, masterclasses, lower priced courses, PLR products, affiliate sales, sales relating to bumps and upsells, and anything else that earns you money? It will be extremely useful to know proportionately how much each of these categories earns for you in relation to others. It's a really good question, but it feels like I need to dive really deep to be able to answer you accurately. But I would say an overview would be my total business revenue, 20 to 30% comes from affiliate income, which means I promote other people and I make commissions from it. So that's 20 to 30%. And then the remaining, I would say that my most profitable comes from courses. Okay, so I can't tell you the percentage, but I would say that when I tally the number of hours that I put in to do a certain product, and then based on the sales I get, the revenue I get, and then I divide it by the number of hours I put in, courses are the most profitable because they are more passive. I can sell a course at a much higher price, could be a couple of $100s for more comprehensive programs, as compared to like my templates, which are at like $17, $27 per template. So the courses are more profitable and they could give me an income $200 to $400 per hour, okay, based on the time I spend, the amount that I sold, and the sale price, right? Coaching, it also depends because I've got low ticket coaching courses, I've got one-on-one courses, one-on-one low ticket coaching programs. and one-on-one coaching services, people who book my services by the hour. So that could also range from $100 to $500 per hour. Okay. And templates, the good thing about it is I create them and then you can promote them over and over again. It goes into my template membership. I have funnels to bring people into my memberships on an evergreen basis. So that would be 10 to 20% of my total business revenue. Okay, templates. Okay, so if we talk about dividing it into the hours that I spend, I actually think that courses are my most profitable products in my business. Okay, I hope that helps. Next, is it possible to have a significantly profitable online business while being employed full-time? Yes, it is possible. It depends on how fast you work, and profitability, it also varies, right? Like when I first started, all I wanted to do was to earn $30 an hour from my business. And now, of course, I can aim higher because of how my business has grown over the years. It is possible. You also have to be very mindful of how much time you're putting in and how fast you're creating the products, how engaged your audience is, how much you're converting people to buy, the sales conversion that I mentioned. If it's a very engaged audience and you always get like 4 to 8% of sales conversion, then of course your business will be more profitable than a business that is not as engaged and getting like 1 to 2% sales conversion, right? But that also depends on how much time you put in the first place, how engaged your audience is, and then the sales revenue. So, but it is all possible while being employed full-time. You know your schedule best, how much time you can set aside to run your online business outside of your working hours. When I first started, my third child was only 1 year old when I first started in 2018. I am the main caregiver to my 3 children. I did have a day job as a financial services consultant, but that was flexible working hours. So I'm always trying to just using pockets of time to work on my business, whether it's writing emails, creating products, and stuff like that, right? So it's about finding pockets of time that works for me. So for you, it's also about finding pockets of time that works for you outside of your full-time employment hours. And yeah, okay, so yes, it is possible. Next, what is one piece of advice you would give to, oh gosh, we're not even halfway through. What is one piece of advice you would give to somebody who is just starting out in printables? Understand who your target audience is. Who are you creating the printables for? Okay, who are you creating the printables for? And then do it, and make sure you are limiting the time that you spend so that you don't overspend too much time on creating the printables. And I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Use templates. Use templates to help you create a printables in a faster way. Okay? How do you know when you're ready to launch your business? You're never fully ready. You're never going to be 100% ready, so just launch it. Like I mentioned just now, just start that website. Just publish that website. Just start that Etsy shop. Just launch your shop, okay? You are never going to be 100% ready. You will learn a lot along the way. So just do it, okay? Do that brainstorming session, understand who your audience is, use that as a roadmap to help you decide who you're trying to appeal to, who you're trying to reach out to, and then use that to decide what products to create, okay? So you just have to launch it, okay? Just hit that publish button. When you first start a digital product business, where and how is the best place and way to research in-demand niches and how to narrow them down? Back to understanding your target audience. Sometimes it's as easy as just Googling it, right? Like, okay, so is self-care a profitable niche? Just Google self-care journals for moms, self-care tips for moms. What are you getting as search results? Are there paid products that people are offering that indicates in-demand niches? Or are people just looking for free stuff? Then in that case, there is search demand, but maybe it's harder to sell a particular product. What you want to do is just search for whatever term that comes to your mind that you want to serve, the niche that you want to serve, and then see what results come out. if there are mega sites like medical sites, there's no way you can compete with them, right? So narrow down your search, try to include the long tail keywords. If you think about, I want to create a budget planner for moms, search for that, printable budget planner for moms. What comes up? How are they selling it? Are they selling it on Etsy? What prices are they priced at? Then you look at that, you do a competitive research, and you see what people are selling, how they're pricing their products, and what kind of websites are ranking. And then you go into those websites and you see what kind of content they offer, how do they price their products, how do they lead up to selling their products. You can do that just by Googling and just by behaving like a consumer and then searching it. Okay? How do you get started? Another question. Same, just understand who your audience is, figure out who your audience is, what problems they have, list them down, and what products and services you can offer to meet their needs. Okay, I'm just going to stop here because I just realized I'm only halfway through my slides. And this is taking way longer than I expected. So I'm just going to answer this as the last question for this part, and then we're just going to split this Ask Me Anything into 2 different parts, okay? So this last question that I'm going to answer in this session, if I have limited time and resources to spend in business, what online business should I consider? So once again, look for any free resources that you have. Okay, look for free resources that can teach you, okay, and try, instead of maybe setting up a WordPress website, go for Etsy because it's easier to set up a shop in marketplaces. The downside is that marketplaces are super competitive and people tend to price their products at a much lower price, which means you need to sell a lot more in larger quantities to make that amount of money. But it is easier to get started, okay, because the tech know-how is little, capital required is little, so those are the things that you have to weigh. So yes, you can set up an Etsy shop, which will be one of the easiest way to get started, okay? Even if you want to do a WordPress website, it is not too difficult to start. You can probably Google YouTube videos to help you, to walk you through. You can go for free themes. One of the affordable web hosts are not too expensive, couple of dollars per month. Okay, so yes, just look for whatever that gives you, that meets the needs of your business, of your budget right now. Okay, so I'll just have to stop here because there are too many questions, I realized, but I will still answer them. But let's take a break here, and I will see you in part 2 of Ask Me Anything about growing an online business. I'll see you then.